all. Today, I'm going to discuss the third module of Episense. So, Episense is a comprehensive epidemiology and biostatistical software suite specifically designed for the beginners to understand the different concept intuitively and visually for the biomedical research. So, in the first and second module, we have described the research design tools and statistical concept visualization. In the third module, I'm going to discuss the sample size calculators. So the third module is the sample size calculator. So here it is a clean, nicely oriented. So the first drop down is there is a drop down. So you can select based on your study design, whether it is a cross sectional, case control, cohort, randomized control trial, compare of the two means, sample size for ITT studies or different advanced ITT, RCT designs, including superiority, then continuous variable, binary variable, continuous variable, then non-inferiority binary, continuous, and equivalence binary and continuous. So if you select, so first is the intuitive understanding that why in the sample size calculation, popularly is known as the 4PQ by D square. The different parameters, their description. So based on the change of prevalence, how sample size changes. So this thing is also you can intuitively understand that why we often tell that if the prevalence of the previous study or some it is not known precisely, so to consider as a 50% because it gives us the maximum sample size. So because when you move or increase if the prevalence increases, it will also decrease the sample size, and if the prevalence decreases, sample size also decreases. So that's why there is often we call it as the 50% give the highest number of sample size. So you can change the precision level. You can change based on that how sample size can change, and also you can also go for the finite population correction. So you have to give the size sample size. I mean the finite population size, and based on that your number of sample size will also change. And we can also add some non-response rate, or usually we take it as a 10%. So based on that, you can the final sample size is also calculated. Okay, so these are the formula and the different parameters, and their interpretation is also there. So then come to the other type of like case control study. So how in the case control study from the exposed prevalence, I mean percentage of exposed in control, how it change, if it is changed, then how the number of control and cases, how it changes also. So you can also the change in the odds ratio. You can also go to change the power, the confidence level, and also you can change the ratio between control to case. So based on that, the number of total sample size is also changed. So you can get the formula, which is commonly a standard biostatistic formula used for the sample size calculation. You can also add 10% non-response rate. So these are the formula. It is given and clearly mentioned, and different type of with the comparison of different other formulas, which is usually used in biostatistics. So then come to the cohort study. So similarly, you can get the sample size for cohort study. You can get the sample size for RCT as a generic one. And in the advanced, different type of other RCTs and different type of their parameters you can change, and based on that you can get the you can able to calculate the number of samples there. So this is the sample size calculation module. So after that, also based on that your requirement, you can also multiply with the design effect depending on the sample study design. So that's all for today in the sample size calculator. And in the next module, we are going to discuss the basic statistical test that can be intuitively understand in the using that efficiency module. So thank you to all of you.